Nothing screams more the season to me than The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, an absurdist cartoon from the mind of Maxwell Adams, starring a boy, a girl, and the Grim frickin' Reaper, who is now stuck under their command. That's one game of Limbo he'll surely never forget. One thing I'll never forget is Fred Burger, and that this is the show that gave us this beautiful creation. He just wanted some nachos. Oh yeah, and some frozen yogurt. But today, I not only wanted to show my love for this show, but 'tis the spirit of the season, discuss the Halloween special, Billy and Mandy's Jacked Up Halloween. This episode is pretty rad overall, and any excuse I have to discuss Halloween related anything within cartoons and TV shows, you bet your sweet bippy I will. I will say, rewatching this Halloween special for the first time in quite a while reminded me of how much this show got away with in the early 2000s, as well as why I think it has left such an impact as a Halloween special in a show that already got away with so much in it. The episode starts out with Billy watching what seems like a spoof of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it turns out to just be a commercial, which is more terrifying. Mandy and Grim show up at the door as Hamlet holding the skull, while Billy grabs Grim's scythe to be the Grim Reaper for Halloween. Before they head out to trick-or-treat, they stop by Irwin's, who has a running costume changing gag throughout the episode. First being Sleeping Beauty, all as an attempt to woo over Mandy. She tells him to change into something scary, and they just ditch him right after promising that they'd wait. We also see how obsessed he is with Mandy, and honestly he rivals Helga's obsession of Arnold. Without Irwin, they all start their trick-or-treat adventures, first stopping at a house of an old lady who doesn't want to give out her candy to any kid. So I guess that means the mean lady gets herself a trick. Mandy super glues her welcome mat and tricks her to come back outside, making her get stuck on the mat and then spraying her with a fire hydrant. So Mandy leads everyone into her house and they literally just rob her of all her miscellaneous holiday candy. Like there was Valentine's Day themed candy and Christmas themed candy. Either she just hoards the candy or got a super great deal on it all after the holidays. Sorry, that's just the smart shopper in me thinking, trust me, buy your Halloween candy on discount after Halloween. While enjoying their stolen candy, Billy wants to know why people can be tricked on Halloween. So Grim tells the tale of a guy named Jack, who liked to play tricks on everyone in town, usually going a bit too overboard with it, promptly pissing off everyone in the town who were now sick of his antics. One night, the town comes together to send the queen a gift in the name of Jack that turns out to be a prank on her to frame him. So the queen just kills Jack. I'm not even joking. We see blood spilt and everything. This isn't an Adult Swim show, Cartoon Network. No wonder my generation has so many sleepless nights. Not the taxes or the debts or any of that. It's because of you, Billy and Mandy, and by extension, I raise you Invader Zim. I'll never forget the organ harvesting.
How thrilling.
So much for threesies.
Anyway, Grim, while doing his job as the Grim Reaper, visits Jack to come take him away, as we see an axe stuck in his back. Yeah, again, this dude is dead, but Jack gets the upper hand by using his trickster ways to take the scythe from Grim, now making a deal between them for Grim to get his scythe back and for Jack to have eternal life. But Grim doesn't always cowtail to everyone, except to Billy and Mandy. He's essentially their bitch. So Grim cuts off Jack's head, which leads his eternal life-filled headless body to place a pumpkin upon it, thus becoming an alive dead dude with a pumpkin on his head. Fine, Jack-o'-lantern. Which, did he get his name after putting on the pumpkin, or was his name Jack-o'-lantern beforehand? Or should I say, beforehead?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Now, throughout the years, he has been trapped within Ennsville as time and technology grows around his home trapped in time, only ever coming out during Halloween to pull tricks on unsuspecting townsfolk. Irwin shows back up as a turtle, well, not just any turtle, a female Indonesian redback sea turtle. With Mandy still displeased, she sends him back to change once more, and Billy and Mandy split up for trick-or-treating after that. Of course, though, Billy ends up at the exact house of Jack, and right off the bat, we see how annoyed Jack is with Billy's antics. Also, no stranger here to cartoons we've spoken on before, but Jack is voiced by Wayne Knight, which I must say fits really well for the character design of Jack. I just personally think he looks really cool, and I truly dig the character. Once Jack takes note of the scythe being the real scythe of the Grim Reaper, he tricks Billy into taking the scythe for himself, as he sees an opportunity not only for tricks, but for revenge on the entity that trapped him in this life. Billy just sees him as a friend to go trick-or-treating with at first and just tags along. But Jack first uses the powers of the scythe to summon friends from the afterlife back to the mortal realm.
Chaos will reign!
Chaos.
These spirits inhabit the pumpkins within the pumpkin patch, creating an army of ghost pumpkins. Or demon pumpkins, or whatever you want to call them. I don't know, it's your life. Quickly, the city gets taken over by pumpkins. Jack reigns supreme with Billy on his side, who's just excited to have Halloween never end. Billy, never change. Jack wants more than this, though. He wants to take the fight to Grim and get revenge upon him. Back over with Mandy and Grim, Irwin shows up again as a banana, just continuing his ripoffs of Hey Arnold. Not cool, my dude. But swiftly, Jack and Billy show up as Jack captures Grim and takes him away. Now holding him hostage, we hear him spilling his grievances with Grim, all while spinning the scythe way too close to Billy's head. But we do know that Grim's head can come off no problem, but the power his scythe holds can detach it permanently, upping the true threat of the power Jack now holds. Billy walks off as he loses interest in the whole situation and then shortly realizes that Grim is actually in real danger and runs out for help. At the same time, Mandy begins making her way to where Grim was taken. Irwin is Little Bo Peep for a second, still not impressing Mandy. And then Billy runs into Mandy and explains what is going on, causing Mandy to go full commando mode with her own bag of tricks to fight back against Jack. Billy, being used as a distraction, well, distracts Jack with his posterior, while Mandy lays a bunch of trap pranks for Jack. But Jack is too smart to fall for that so easily, and he foils Mandy's plans. Until a knight in shining armor shows up, scaring Jack, until it's revealed to be Irwin, once again in a new costume, but now stumbling and falling into every laid trap that Mandy had put. All the pumpkin spirits and Jack burst out into laughter so hard that the pumpkins begin exploding due to dying of laughter as they now head back to the afterlife. Mandy sees an opportunity to reclaim the scythe, going sicko mode on some remaining pumpkins and thus returning the scythe to Grim, who sets free Jack into the afterlife, ending his eternal life. But that's not how we end the episode. Oh no. We actually then pan down to the underworld, you know.
Censors.
As Jack is still pulling tricks on the ghouls and monsters working and living down there. And they clearly aren't having any of that either.
That's why I left him.
Now, I won't claim this being the darkest thing I've ever seen in a cartoon. I'm sure I can come up with a laundry list of more far worse than this. But even for Billy and Mandy's sake, not only seeing blood, death, the fiery inferno down below, all in a show I watched as a kid, did leave a long enough impact on me all these years later. Sure, it's within the season and spirit of Halloween to get darker and creepier and all that, but can that be done today on daytime kids television? That all being said, I love this episode. I mentioned how cool Jack was as a character, but when it comes to Halloween specials and cartoons, this one is high on my list for how it used the holiday as a catalyst to tell a fun tale of revenge, with fun and interesting visuals while still keeping the zany, out there humor the show was known for. Blending comedy and horror can be hit or miss depending on how it's used and executed, and here is a perfect example of telling a story that may not seem the most original, but using the playground of characters in their own unique way to tell the story. I feel too many Halloween specials try to just be spooky or use the holiday in a generic way to have a holiday-themed episode. Here, thankfully, Billy and Mandy use the way the world in their show works to the storytelling's advantage, culminating in why I think this is a top-tier Halloween special. It also fills up the full 22-minute runtime rather than it usually having two 11-minute segments, which with how fast-paced the episodes usually are, gave it that time to breathe to not feel rushed going up against an allotted amount of time. If you've never seen this Halloween special, I highly recommend checking it out. I have personally re-added this special to my yearly October must-watch list, and I am kicking myself for not having it on there for so long. Now, you remember back when all these cartoons had web-based video games on their respective network sites? I mean, maybe they still do today, but I don't have time to find out. Listen, either you get content or I play video games by myself. Your choice. But like I was saying, there were two Cartoon Network video games based off this Halloween special. Infernal Candy, wherein which you just trick or treat and scare adults who don't give you candy. Then there is Harem Scarum, a 2D platformer where you traverse several levels to face down Jack-o'-lantern himself at the end. And for this one specifically, I recall playing quite a bit back when it first came out. This special episode, nay, the whole series in general, was such a surreal trip into pure chaos. I find it hard to describe what this show is, and I think that's why I love it. In the same era, we had shows like Ed, Edd n Eddy that would also bring a similar nature of attitude, just on Cartoon Network alone. They just complemented each other so well in my opinion, and each stood out on their own. But they had this energy about them, this visceral attachment that I couldn't take my attention away from. Plus, we got Fred Fredburger, and that's all the world ever needed.
But I
wasn't finished!
I appreciate you checking out this video and rocking with me for a little bit today. Let me know your thoughts on this Halloween special as well as the show in general. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter for updates on content, live streams, and more. I got a few extra spooky related videos for the end of the month coming out, but until then, later.